So I'm going to move on and spend the last 10 minutes talking about melanin and other ways to harvest sunlight. And if some of you have never seen, this is the reason why a lot of people are never healthy. It's my favorite picture in the entire world. I have it on my work. So on one of them is a healthy intestinal cell. Each one of those little dots is an enzyme, and that's most people. So they're digesting, to your point earlier, they're digesting about 1,000 times less than a healthy gut person. Yeah, and these are enterocytes, and this is GAPS.
She's great. Yeah.
I just love it. So you can pass that around. I got a look. So yeah, the most important thing for calcium, and talk about calcium context, is you've got, so I supplement with stomach acid every meal and enzymes because you cannot absorb protein and minerals without adequate stomach acid. So if you're in fight or flight, you're going to osteoporosis land in 10 years.
What about eating standing up?
Wait, let's go back to the, yeah, I know it's easy. Eating is always better. Sitting, the nervous system wants to sit when we're eating. Chewing 30 to 50 chews per mouthful is the parameter. So we have greens, and there's debate about meat doesn't need to be chewed that much because you want it to sit in there longer. So, all right, I'm okay with that. There's debate, the primal diet through Agenus, they had people not chewing their meat as much, and they're getting good results. But I don't want to go into that.
That's why you want to chew your shakes if you have a smoothie.
Chew your liquids. What is it? Drink your food and chew your liquid was Gandhi's statement. Chew your liquids and drink your foods was Gandhi's statement. So sunlight can come in a couple different forms. Humans use it, and there's your chlorophyll, because plants have this thing called the Fenton reaction, and they take sunlight and combine it with carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and they make sugar. What? They're taking sunlight and carbon, hydrogen. So there's your, see, water and air. CO2 H2O. So plants are making carbohydrate from sunlight via this Fenton reaction. There's another reaction, I forgot the name of it. And then we eat the plants. See? So you talk about alchemy. They're in the hot sun all day, the wind all day. You talk about alchemists, and they live year round in, hot sun. It's amazing. So I have a PowerPoint for this. That's why if you guys want the recorded material, I'm going to do a studio recording of the science of this. I already have a document through Sayer G, the Green Med Info. We had a bunch of documents about melanocytes and melanin. And so melanin is the pigment that makes us, tan. And there's a cell called the melanocyte, okay? And then there's a hormone called Melanocyte Stimulating Hormone, MSH. And guess what's connected with this hormone? Lyme and Epstein-Barr. So when you have an off, I have the science on this. If it shows off, either high or low, I can't remember, then it's a potential of having Epstein-Barr and or Lyme. But I believe they're the same thing. And then you have to look at biopleomorphism, or shape-shifting bugs terrain theory. The bugs change according to how we eat, and they can change shape and form based on need, and they can cloak.
They can what?
Cloak themselves from our immune cells. They can hide. And so if your cell membranes, if you're eating shitty fat and shitty proteins, then your cells are stupid. And the cloaked pathogens just cruise around. Did anybody see dark field? Anybody see any dark field microscopy?
Yeah.
Man, there's some cool stuff. I've seen parasites eating red blood cells like donuts in the live blood, like cruising around like Pac-Man, eating red blood cells. There's another form of anemia from parasites. We don't talk about that. So melanin is also something that mushrooms make, and fungus. So there's a potential then by eating mushrooms and fungus, you might be getting some sunlight through the mushroom. Kind of cool.
You said they eat melanin?
They make melanin.
They make melanin.
Yeah, they make. The Sayer G has a great article, but I have it all compressed into one. There's about 4 or 5. And then I went to Wikipedia and NIH, and I have this huge document called Melanocytes and Light Energy. So I kind of went one up to Sayer. Last is humans. And so there's some NIH studies, people are starting to debate that they think that humans, here's why I'm doing this talk, may harvest sunlight directly. They're not sure. Isn't that cool? Melatonin, melanin? Melanin? I'm thinking, doesn't that sound the same? Melatonin, melanin. So I think that maybe the light, you were saying, the light going in the eyes, lighting up the brain. There's this limbic center.
Isn't it the pineal gland? The melatonin and
Yeah.
serotonin? And then once the activity is
Yeah,
released?
remember questions, we're going to finish up in a couple minutes and we'll have questions, a lot of them at the end. So this is where the magnesium and the chlorophyll comes in. So it turns out, this is why we need to change the science, that all the, I don't want to use the word, all of the conspiracy recommendations, even from the natural people, they mess with our mitochondria's ability to digest oxygen and iron properly. The ascorbic acid, the D3, the zinc, a bunch of those, citric acid. They chelate and mess with copper metabolism because there's this copper enzyme called ceruloplasmin. I will spell it, CERULOPLASMIN, ceruloplasmin. It's a copper-containing enzyme that controls how iron and oxygen is metabolized for ATP at the cell level. We're even debating through these melanin articles that we might not even be making ATP like we think. It's a chosen conceptual parameter we've agreed upon, but it may not be true. So that the truth then is that we want our car to burn fuel cleanly without a lot of black exhaust, right? So the exhaust in our body is oxidation. That's why we want some antioxidants. And so all the recommendations mess with copper metabolism and magnesium. So every time, this is what they say, our mitochondria makes ATP, there's a magnesium attached to it. So Morley came up with what's called the magnesium burn rate, MBR. And the more stressed you are, more sympathetic dominance you have, the more you burn off magnesium. I'm taking 900 milligrams a day. 10 years ago, I was barely at 200 or 300. So in the root cause protocol, that's one of the first things to start with is high dose magnesium, because magnesium was called in the old elemental world of the chemistry of man, Bernard Jensen's work, the anti sort of toxicity mineral.
You supplement it?
Yeah, I take a ligand form, magnesium SRT by Jigsaw Health. It's a high dose item, 120 milligrams, 125 milligrams per tablet, which is very high. You usually don't get it that high. And it's a it's a malate form. Do not take magnesium citrate. Citric acid is a big problem with your mitochondria. No citrate, no calm.
No citric acid at all.
No magnesium citrate, no citric
What
acid.
about magnesium lactate?
So MMS, don't use MMS with citric acid, use MMS with hydrochloric acid.
Oh, because it comes together with that citric acid.
That's just bullshit.
That
What
company.
about magnesium glycinate?
Wait. Yes, all the magnesiums are good, just think citrate bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Uh-oh.
it's the form of citric acid. They're making it industrially, and this is what the Miller's Farm is facing out in Pennsylvania. They want all the meat sprayed down with this toxic DuPont citric acid, and Amos has been fighting it for years, and now they took him down because they want all of our meat to be adulterated.
Right, they want to screw us up.
And they reversed it and said he's doing adulterated meat.
Yeah.
They inverted it, and they sent the SWAT team to the guy's farm a few months ago. Literally a farmer with a SWAT team showing up.
It's disgusting.
Are you freaking kidding me? This is why I'm up here talking today, because we're in World War III. I mean, they're trying to take us down. Like, get rid of all the farms, and you got this Beyond Meat bullshit, refined gluten and soy. And if you're a protein type, you'll die on that diet in weeks. As a matter of fact, I had a teacher that said I could kill you in a month on a seemingly normal diet, and I think I could do the same now. If you have the opposite diet of what you need, and you go downtown in a month. So, and usually it's excessive carbohydrates. Get some questions in just a minute. I'm going to finish in a second. So, by doing, let's go back to the Gershon diet. That's a good point.
Did you finish up with the chlorophyll?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Oh.
Let's see if I can get this adjusted down here. Readjust. Thank you. So, the magnesium is at the center of the chlorophyll molecule, right? And I'm saying magnesium is a really important mineral. So actually, the best form of magnesium you can use is from green juices. And fresh green juices of plants freshly cut will also be high in the water-soluble sunlight vitamin called vitamin C.
Oh, what?
Vitamin C. Vitamin C is your water-soluble sunlight vitamin. Vitamin A is your fat-soluble sunlight vitamin. Why do you think I would say vitamin C is your water-soluble sunlight vitamin? What is ascorbic acid similar to that I just mentioned about this CHO thing? Ascorbic acid is part of the C complex. And plants are making this sunlight vitamin. Hint, hint. Ascorbic acid, a lot of people don't know this, is one enzymatic step removed from sugar.